Flex will be here in a minute. Okay, I've got some questions for you.
Oh, jeez.
How many people are here to see Dana Lynn Bailey? Let me just tell you, these guys have been personal friends of mine for years. I've watched the rise of their fame, as it is at this point. It's no longer just fans. I mean, they're famous people. And I've been, honestly, as much as I annoy everybody on Facebook and with my monster posters and stuff, and all this, promoting my shows, I really am humbled by the marketing abilities of these two. It's amazing what they have created. They've not only created a phenomenal physique, the best in the world in 2013, Olympia champion, what do you think of that? They've also created a phenomenal clothing line, Flag More Fail, which seems to, I mean, I go to every gym, and that is the majority of the things that I see are Flag More Fail. It's amazing. The videos, updated videos and all this is just outstanding. Rob here, you guys fan of Rob's? Rob here is an amazing musician as well. So it just goes to show you when you work hard and you do a great job and you're great to the fans. I mean, the chemistry you guys have as a team is amazing. It comes across on all your videos and everything that you do, and the quality of your work as far as your physique, the clothing line, and whatever else you have in the hamper. I'm sure it's coming down the pipe soon. Is just going to probably be just as good, if not better. So the fame, have you seen these people's lines? I go to the Arnold Classic. I mean, you think Mick Jagger arrived. There's lines all the way, just a hemisphere of lines. I'm not kidding. Well, that's old. I am Mick Jagger.
I like Mick Jagger.
Yeah, right. Anyhow, but you know, and at the Arnolds, we're looking at 3-hour lines. You come here, and you don't have to wait 3 long hours to see your favorite and to get your photos with her. And I have to say, you guys are phenomenal with your fans. Absolutely phenomenal. She will not leave it to the last picture. Absolutely. I see him with the Olympia, I see him with the Olympians, I see him with the Arnold Classic. They're always constantly as nice. And when you talk to these guys, and I say this heartfelt, I'm like talking to old friends I've known all my life. You know, we just pick it right up. So, and that's the way you make people feel. And that, I hope everybody who's a professional in any sport learns a lesson from that, because that is what really makes everything grow. Now everybody loves you, everybody wants to be a part of your team, your products, your brand, and they're going to compete too, just like you. And that is what keeps this ball rolling. So anyways, I know this is a long introduction. Before any more ado, I'm going to introduce to you now Dana Lynn Bailey and Rob, but wait! We have another guest here. He's not just a one-time, not a two-time, but a 3-time Olympian champion. 212 pounds and under. And when you see this guy, he is a powerhouse. The last thing you think of is weight. He is, as far as I'm concerned, he's one of my favorite physiques. And great guy, equally huge fan base, awesome with his fans, everywhere he goes. The one and only James Flex Lewis. Both of these characters are going to be guest posing tonight, so we hope you join us tonight. And they will also be at the booth all the way down the hall to the right. It's a small little cafeteria, but we knew the lines were really big, so we could snake them around. And Flex will be there, signing whatever you want. These guys will be there, pictures, selfies, whatever you want, okay? You've heard enough from me. Thank you very, very much for coming. The next seminar we do will be with Phil Keith and Michael Hearn, October 10th. At the Lakewood Civic Auditorium, okay? Thanks again, folks. Give it up! DLB, Rob, Flex!
I'm the worst looking Mike. Why would you give this to me? I don't know how this is really supposed to go today. Are we doing like question answers?
Whatever you want. You gotta tell them about your career.
Flex, what would you like to do? Should I just interview you? Hi, James. How was your flight here?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
See, I'm not even good at interviewing.
First and foremost, guys, thanks very much for being here for our seminar. I think again, there's no sort of fixed format here, so I probably will shoot off the hip and we'll go down that direction. For all of you guys who may not know me or where I got my name from or anything like that, I'll start from the beginning. For me, I was a hard gainer, scrawny little kid. Loved rugby, so I was always up to no good, so my mother put me in as many sports as she could as a young kid, just to get me involved with, probably pulling her hair over my head. So put all that energy into a multitude of different things, from track and field, gymnastics, rugby, like I said, etc., etc. And that's what I actually picked up my nickname Flex when I was 6 years old. Mainly because of the flexibility of getting out of different tackles. And then that name stuck with me all the way through school. All the teachers used to call me Flex. When I went to college, all my lecturers called me Flex. And so that pretty much was my name from a very young age. How I got into bodybuilding? Well, again, rugby sort of took strong hold in my life. And powerlifting and weightlifting is a matched sport in rugby. So at a very young age, you get put in the weight room. And unfortunately for rugby players, because we don't have the pads, helmets, anything like that, you basically have to build yourself up. So that said, powerlifting again coincided with my rugby at a very young age, and I started competitively powerlifting. And there was a poster on the wall of the gym, and the actual gym owner said, if you do this bodybuilding show, I'll give you a free gym membership. So I was like, how hard can it be? Needless to say, it was the hardest thing I'd ever done. And I done my own diet, and this is truth. I picked up a Flex magazine from a local store, and I'd seen a professional bodybuilder's diet, seen that, dissected that, and pretty much lived on depletion carbs for 12 weeks. So needless to say, my mother was about to kill me doing this bodybuilding bullshit. But like everything, my parents supported me, and they wanted to show that they were there for their son, just like in every sport that I've ever done. And I thought it was going to be a fad or whatever else. So after I'd done my first show, I was quite happy to dig into the chocolates, the big bag of chocolates that I had put, started building up, and all my family started putting it in the bag too. And I had quite a big bag of chocolates, needless to say, because I was playing rugby and we eat all kinds of junk. And after that, a guy called Neil Hill, who was the head judge at the Mr. Wales contest, came and approached me and said a couple of nice words and wished me well for the night show. And I ended up winning the show that night, the juniors, which is the under 21. And I was 19 at the time. After the show, a couple of people came up to me and again, give me my well wishes, a lot of professional athletes, which I was shocked about. And this was the end of the road for bodybuilding for me. I had done my show, I had my free gym membership, and I was going to go back to playing rugby. But Neil Hill, who is now my coach, gave me some advice and said to me, if you do the British Nationals, which is again the under 21s, he would help me with my diet, give me my training advice, and it was only 4 weeks. And he kept on reinforcing this, it's only 4 weeks. It's only 4 weeks. So now, okay, another 4 weeks. I ended up winning that show. 4 weeks later, different physique, shredded glutes, 19 years old. Pictures from that ended up going onto the internet, and I had an email from one of the owners of Gold's Gym franchise. And next thing I know, I'm on a plane to America. So, 6 years old, getting the nickname Flex, somehow finding magazines with bodybuilding, and there's a couple of other freaky coincidences along that path. And then I'm sitting in the mecca of bodybuilding at 19 years old, thinking, why me? What the hell is going on here? So it was a crazy road up until that point, and then I started seeing direction. And like I'd like for myself, for me, I come from a humble upbringing. I've worked, my family's well hard for everything they've got. So my parents, although worried about me going to the States, they wanted me to, go through whatever journey that I was pursuing. I had actually at the time also started up a moving company, and that was picking up pretty good. So cutting the long story short, moving back and forth from America to the UK, I grew my moving company up, and I had 11 employees at one point in time, 3 vans running, and I was the boss. So to give up all that to pursue this craziness of bodybuilding coming here was a big leap of faith. But like everything in life, there's calculated risk, and I felt like for me going to the States, giving this a go, I'm still young. If it didn't work out, I can go back and pick up where I left off. And I think we all know where that ended up. So this is why I say to people, believe in yourself, take risks, but calculated risks. And I'll obviously look at myself and say like, well, I'm going to move to the States. Like, I'll give anybody props for taking that leap. These guys, I know their story. We've been friends for many years. I've seen them grow tremendously, and I know, the risks they've done and their story inside out. So, being in the situation at a time in your life where you can either go A to B, I'd rather live and tell a story that I tried than not. You have one life, one shot. And if there's anything that I can tell you guys, go for it. Go for whatever, whether it's bodybuilding, whether it's jobs, whether it's a relationship, whatever else, again, it's calculated risks to everything. But if you feel like you can, then go for it. So again, to round off my story, before we get into the professional career, which you guys will touch on later, I ended up coming to the States then at 23 years old, and again living my life here and going for my goal and my dream to be the best in the world. So that's a long story short, guys. So on to you.
Love actually like everything you said about risk taking and actually going for your dreams and working towards those dreams, because that's everything where we came from. And our bio is kind of like the same. Like we pretty much do ours together. Like we grew up, we were both athletes. We met in college. We both went to Westchester University. He was a nutrition major. I was kinesiology. He worked long hours as a chef while I played soccer. And I actually didn't even get into lifting weights or bodybuilding until we started dating, and my college soccer career was done. And so I had all this free time on my hands that I didn't know what to do with, so I started going to the gym with him and basically just following exactly what he did. And so the first day I walk into the gym, I'm like, okay, what do we do? And he's like, looking at some of the girls that are on the treadmill and the girls lifting the pink weights, doing like lunges with the overhead press and into a curl. Like, he doesn't know how to train like that. So he's like, let's bench. So I was like, okay. So I instantly became like addicted to seeing progress and like the changes in my body that were happening. I started developing muscles. I started seeing weights go up. I was getting stronger, and I got addicted to that, getting stronger. Like at one time, I could only do 1 or 2 pull-ups, and now it's like I can do pull-ups for days. Or like when I benched 135, like I lost my shit, and now and everyone's like, what is wrong with her? I was like, did you see that? I had 45s on each side, and I did it once. Horrible form, but once. And now I warm up with that. So I got addicted to like just the progress and going through those stages. And then, long story short, I got into like competing. Started out in figure, because back then, that was when I started competing when they still had 2 suits. Thank God they got rid of the 1-piece round. I hated that suit. So they had 1-piece and 2-piece. So I did figure for a really long time. Fortunately, I was not a boss like this guy over here that just won every show that he ever did. Like literally, did you ever lose a show?
No comment.
I was a pro, yeah, but that's another story for me.
He's won like every show. Now figure, I did not win at all. I would do well on an amateur level, but as soon as I stepped on the national stage, I was too big and too hard. Once they came out with physique, I was like, oh my God, they made a category just for me. Like, this is perfect. So I decided whatever that first show is, I'm gonna do it. So it was Junior USA 2010, and we borrowed a Drew's company car, drove down there, and I actually won the show. Won the overall, became the first pro ever in history. Meanwhile, as this is all going on, this is where it goes back to what he was talking about, chasing your dreams. That year, 2010, I think, is when we went on a whim and started Flagner Fail. We were almost at a crossroads, kind of down on our luck. We made some business ventures before that did not work out, and basically, I was the only one I was still teaching at the time, so I was the only one that had a job, and we were trying to make ends meet, so he started Flagner Fail, and it's always been his dream to have, I don't know if you know this, but he's won sewing contests. I like to call them sewing contests.
They're called fashion shows.
I like sewing contests. Who can sew the best? Like, look at those hemlines. Oh, that tight thread. The knitting on that is spectacular. Anywho, it's always been his dream to have his own clothing line. So, came up with Flagner Fail, started it. It was just him working out of our garage, basically not sleeping, eating, or drinking, pretty much doing anything. And that's why we are here where we are today, because we made those steps, we made the risks, me leaving my job to help him out, to get to where we are at today. Again, there's a lot of, you can't just quit your job and just be like, I'm gonna do this, and just quit your job. There's a lot of risks and a lot of other things that go into that, so we're not saying just whatever your dream is, quit everything and go for it, but to some point, there has to be some risk-taking that you do take, and that's what we're here all about. Do you have anything to add?
How about you say something?
Yeah, but just sewing.
Yeah, I like the sewing.
I'd like to open up with, it's an honor that I'm sitting up here with 2 Olympia champions. I don't even lift, so. No, I think generally everybody knows who Flex is, everybody knows who Dane is. Some people sort of have an idea who I am. And I think for the things that they don't know, I say we just open up for questions, right? My little sidekick, Austin. Austin, stand up, please.
That's Austin.
Now, Austin, so if you guys have questions, raise your hand. There you go, right there. Now tell Austin, unless you can yell all the way up here.
Yeah.
He can definitely yell it.
All right,
Yes.
the YouTube clip is you and CT Fletcher did the man. How did that come about? Because that is like awesome. I use that all the time. Did the man to grow?
Yes. I don't even know how we got that.
No, I met CT for the first time in Germany last year, and he just said, I want to do a video with you guys. It's like, all right, I'll fly you out. It's pretty much that simple. I mean, it seems like it should be a really exciting story, but it was pretty much, it's cool because we're at that level now where CT Fletcher says, hey man, let's do a video. We said, okay.
So that made me more of a fan of you guys. Like,
Thank you.
I've heard you guys before.
Yeah.
But then seeing you guys work, and then I seen the one where you guys have my favorite Kai Green in there.
Was it 2010? Did you do 2010? Oh, you lost that day. Shit. So 2010, we go to New York Pro as spectators, and this was only like a couple weeks after I earned my pro card in physique. So we're going and we're like waiting. We're still like little kids, and we're like, oh god, I can't wait till like Flex Lewis comes out so we can get a picture with him. And this is only 4 years ago. So Flex comes out, and like I have my phone, like, yay, I'm gonna get a picture with Flex. And he was like, hey, congrats on your winning your pro card. I was like, you know who I am? Well, that was like a cool moment because he follows the sport, and it was just so cool to like. And now I'm like sitting on stage with somebody that I was like so nervous to take a picture with. I was like giddy little fangirl, and now I'm hosting seminars with them. So thank you. You knew who I was, and I was so happy. You made my day. But now we're like friends with like all these guys because we travel so much. And we just make friends, and then we do videos together, and it's fun.
I think that's awesome. I'm glad you guys are here in Ohio. So I made a goal when I first seen the post. I was like, I gotta do something to get tickets and come. So thank you for being here. So,
Thank you. Anyways, can you shout?
Yes. Sorry, yesterday was leg day. I watched your videos, your road to the Olympia, and I'm willing to confess that I've actually downloaded your videos and tried to do your workouts.
That's what they're there for.
Right, maybe halfway through. I don't know how you're able to just physically and mentally do the workouts that you do. I'm like, what? Does she take pre-workouts? Does she zone out? Does she get,
I'm psychotic is really what it comes down to. I'm an absolute lunatic.
in a good way.
In a great way, but I'm also a crazy person. But that spends way too much time in the gym. But I'm very, very, very hard on myself. And I also, there's something, I don't know. I get, like, I never feel like anything's ever enough. Like, I always want to do one more set, or one more superset, or, yeah, just drop sets on drop sets. Oh, wait, that felt good. I know, he trained with me, and it's just like,
Jose almost died.
I almost killed Jose. Like, he almost died on me. But, like a typical workout for me is at least 2.5 hours. Yes. Leg day is sometimes like 3, just because there's so many things I want to do, and I just never feel like anything's ever enough. And I enjoy lifting. I enjoy every minute of it. And I'm also just a crazy person. Yeah, sometimes. I try not to like rely on it. And then like usually before, if it was like the 10 days out, I wasn't even taking pre-workout then. So I am even more psychotic. Honestly, like when it gets that close, like you have to like drag me out of the gym because I get like really nervous and lots of like very anxious, and like again, I feel like nothing is ever enough, and I want to keep doing more and more and more. Even though sometimes more is not always better, I just keep going. So I'm crazy. That's all it is.
Flex, I got a question about you do a Y3T training. I've read different things on it that it goes through 3 weeks and different rep ranges and stuff like that. I was wondering if you could explain to me how those 3 weeks go, and if you continue that for your contest prep using the Y3T training also.
Yeah, no problem. When I'm on the road, which now is predominantly 6 months, pretty much my year, unfortunately I can't have any training system. So I compromise my own sort of style of heavy and high reps. And again, you know, with us, I'll segue into the question, but with what we do, we could be in Australia, you know, our body clock's 10, it's 4 a.m., and then the only thing that we can find is a small hotel gym. So if I was to stick on a regimented training program, then I'm only going to you know, mess with my mind if I can't do what I need to do, if that makes sense. Coming up to pre-contest, I set my game plan 20 weeks back, sometimes more, and then I go into the show with a Y3T training system, and I grow all the way up. So this year, because I am at the top end of the weight, I don't, pretty much, my training is the same. I love to train, I hate to eat. So unfortunately for me, and all the traveling that I do, it allows me to stay within the weight category. So I stay about 225 year round, and then when I start prepping for my show, I go all the way up to about mid 230s. So with the Y3T, again, it all different. With Neil, it's all personalized. So there's a method which you're obviously aware of, and it's to break it down, it's three weeks of training. Y3T is first week is heavy compound movements. Second week it's heavy with more sort of selectorized movements with squeezes and I'm trying to think of the right terminology here, but the third week is high reps. So first week lower reps, second week is mediocre reps, third week is drop sets, supersets, giant sets, and it could be stupid amount of numbers. So over the period of 3 weeks, your body is getting hit all different angles, all different muscle fibers. So again, there's no plateau in your diet, in your training. That's something that, again, my coach has been doing for years, nothing that really he put out there until, you know, they were talking about our training. So then they were like, what's the name of it? So he just put a name to it. It's not that he's trying to sell this system off or anything else at that time. Now it's become more, you know, marketed and stuff like that. So there's more of a method to the whole madness. But again, what I'm doing at this point in time would be, if I'm going to do shoulders, for example, maybe a couple of heavy compound movements, and then I might jump onto maybe some side raising, do 50 reps, drop sets, supersets, then I'll go back to a heavy motion. So I'm hitting fast twitch and slow twitch fibers all in the same workout, and again, you know, a good overall pump, and again, hitting the, you know, the muscle at all angles. So to answer your question, again, off season, no. Pre-contest, yes. But it can be done year round if there is a good routine to your daily life. Again, what we do, there is no set routine at all. You know, I landed in Florida on Tuesday, and I left to come here yesterday, and I just came back from Australia. So my body clock is all over the place, and if you follow me on Instagram, I've been training at midnight for the last couple of nights. So, you know, the alarm went off this morning to get here for this seminar. I was in the gym by about 9 a.m. or whatever it was, and we were all trying to meet up then. But we're all over the place, but we all do what we got to do. So the lady mentioned about Dana, you know, we've trained a few times, and one thing about this girl is, you know, we trained that one time when I came to the camp, it was like 11 o'clock at night, doing shoulders or whatever it was. And man, you know, I'm used to an hour workout, something like that, and I'm giving it all and leaving it there. This girl is like a kid in Toys R Us. I swear on my life. They would take a kid to Toys R Us and say, Mommy, over here. Daddy, look at this, look at that. She was like, holy, Flex, let's do this. And I was like, yeah, okay. You know, let's go over here. Okay. Let's go. Yo, hold on. Come on.
Yeah.
I survived. But yeah, this girl is relentless. This is why she is who she is, you know, and there's no, you know, there's nothing fake about these two people. And I'll say that to everybody I meet, you know. There's nothing fake about these guys. They do what they do with passion, and they live in the gym and they live through their work. So, you know, if anybody can take anything away from this seminar is, you know, be who you are. Don't let anybody change you, you know. If you're an asshole, yes, notice that. But there's a few people looking around, so I'm not naming names. But be who you are, you know. A lot of people told me to change my nickname Flex when I came over here. And there's a great champion, you know, who's won many shows, Flex Wheeler. And I nearly done that. But it was my mother that told me, don't change that name. That is you. That is who you know. You are known back home. That is who you are known as a person. So, you know, if anybody call me James, it doesn't register, to be honest with you. It's Flex, and it has been. So, anyway, here's my ADD kicking in again. Why 3T? That's the question, sorry.
Don't be shy.
Got one over here. Can you yell it? My name's Brandon. We just started a clothing line last year to rack up apparel, and we watch you guys' videos. We refer to you guys as to the lore house and to the way that we watch you guys work all the time. And my question for you is, when shit hits the fan and it gets tough, and you're there 20 hours trying to make your orders go out, what do you do as leaders to keep your team together or to recognize what it is that you're doing difficult to make it get better? Because I mean, a lot of times you're under pressure, you're worried about your training, you're worried about getting orders out, you're worried about shit getting
We're
better.
still trying to figure things out day by day. I mean, we do so much brainstorming on a daily basis. Every single day there's like 3 hours where we're sitting there brainstorming of how to make things better. It's always, and when you get something better, something else needs to get better. But I mean, we've been trying to, with our traveling schedule, we tried to like do like more like team morale stuff. So we started doing like dodgeball tournaments, like with because like we're like a family. Everyone we work with, we love them and we treat them like family. Like they come in and like when we do a release, they're there at 3 a.m. Like, who else would do that besides your family? Like, they come in at 3 a.m. and they're there for 12 to 15 hours, just packing orders, trying to get as much out as we possibly can. Because we're still a very small business, like, so everything, it's hard. So, you have anything to add?
That's something I'm really trying to deal with right now, because it's being a leader, being a manager. And like, my life's easy with Dana. She is the best at what she does. She goes upstairs, she trains, she eats, she'll never stray from diet. Like, she has it inside her. I obviously have it inside of me, he has it inside of him. But a lot of my employees necessarily don't always have it, and that's something I'm trying to figure out, you know, because I don't know if you're talking about the management thing, but that's the biggest thing we're trying to figure out. And I think that most of them are just inspired by who's in charge. So that's, you know, why I don't always go home. Because I feel like, why are my employees going to work hard if I'm going to go home to my house in the mountain and, you know, sleep in a big old bed and be comfortable? So that's a lot of times why, you know, Rags and I will still be there at 3 a.m. And then we just say, we'll just stay there so that when the employees get here, they see us sleeping here. And I try to lead by example that, like, you know, whether we made it or not, you know, whatever the hell that means, or, you know, whether however many cars we have or whatever, the fact of the matter is we're still hungry, and we're not just going to float and let my employees do all the work. And that's, between that and the dodgeball tournaments, is what we're really trying to do. But that's the hardest thing, man. The hardest thing is, the easiest thing is where you're at right now. Like, if you just started a line, believe it or not, that's the easy part. Because you're hungry right now, because you know, you need money to get more stuff in. You're coming up with ideas constantly, you're pulling from everywhere, you're watching everything. And then when you get to a certain point, you can cruise. Like, we could cruise right now. We could not travel, we could stay home. We could probably not even come into work, and we'd still probably maintain. And it's hard to battle that, because you cannot be as hungry as you are right now. Because right now, you're really hungry. And I know you are, because you're starting. But you get to a point where you're not, and then you get employees under you, and you gotta just keep leading by example. And to me, that's even if I need to beat the hell out of myself to do that. I don't know. I feel like it inspires them to realize like he's not done working, so I'm not going to be done working. But it's still not working properly, so there's something else to it I need to figure out. So if you figure it out, tell me. Some of you guys have something.
The more employees you have, the more headache that comes with it. But you just every day is a new day, and you just hit one thing at a time. It's a constant brainstorming of how to make things better. So good luck to you. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm wondering, Flex and Dana, what is your meal plans, like calories, macros kind of thing? This is my third show, and eating 500 grams of carbs a day, like how do you do that? How do you, and coming from my standpoint, having a regular, regular job, trying to eat 500 grams of carbs plus all your proteins, fats and everything, trying to get it in, like, what do you guys do?
I love the macros because I don't do macros, and I don't do calories. I don't even know how many calories I eat. Never really calculated it, but the biggest thing with me, because I can sit here and tell you like, well, I eat 4 ounces of this and then a cup of rice. Okay, what's the question?
She's confused. So bro, you're not asking what's your actual meal plan, you're asking how you actually do it. So like being that you have a normal job every day, you find it hard to fit in all these little meals. She was going to break down that she thinks if it fits your macros is stupid. That's where she was going, I think.
No, I was going like, how do you do your diet and stuff? Back when I was a teacher, I had kids. No, it's all about preparation. I don't really I'm not a big fan of shakes. The only ever time I do a shake is usually just post-workout because I think real food is better, but I know like if you're at a job that you can't I had a police officer that asked me the same kind of question, like I'm in the car all day and like when I need to eat, like I end up and I stop for food, but I'm like, you're in a car all day, why can't you have a cooler, pack all of your food, and you don't need a microwave, like if I've eaten cold meals for like months at a time, like you just do what you gotta do. Can I ask what you do?
Actually, I work for Norfolk Southern Railroad, and I actually take trains 200 miles at a time. So, a 6-pack bag goes a long ways, being able to pack 2 days worth of food and take it with me and try it. But, still, even at that, I'm filling extra bags with food because trying to hit, that amount of food to try putting on, 6 months ago, I was at 174 pounds. This year I'm at 179, or 179. So 6 pounds for me that was huge.
Yeah.
6 pounds, but 6 months of just smashing food nonstop, and it's like, she's grocery shopping, she's scratching her head looking at me like, how are we gonna afford this, And I'm like,
welcome to bodybuilding.
Expensive, buddy.
But you just have to be prepared with, that's the biggest thing is just having your food. Like when we travel, like I have all of my food with me. Like we left yesterday, I had all of yesterday's food, all of today's food, and all of tomorrow's food because I'm gone all day. And I have it all like weighed out, and even now, and I'm not even getting ready for a show. Like I always have food. Food's like number one for me. Him, for whatever reason, doesn't like to eat. All I can think about is food. And training. I love training, but I really, really love food. But it just depends on how hard or how bad you want it. Like, preparation is the biggest thing. Just traveling with food, getting it prepared ahead of time. Any pointers?
What I can add to that is make a plan to fail. That's the saying. So what are you doing now? You hit the nail on the head. When I had my moving company, I was eating 6 meals a day. I was trying to put on weight. I was trying to move up into the weight class as a bodybuilder. So I hear you. I was pounding their meals down and I was force feeding myself. And then I was moving people's furniture. So needless to say, I wasn't fun to be in the truck with sometimes. So there was days that I was thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to eat all this food and get through, my schedule, then go and lift? But you make it work. If you want something, you've already put, 6 pounds on? That's a lot of weight. When you calculate that and you hold in 6 months, a pound a month, you tell me the secret, buddy. In fact, so that's a lot of weight. So whatever you're doing it good. So again, you have to find a way of doing it, and from what we do, for example, if we went to Germany now, which is coming up, that's the next event for all us. We will pack our food up until a certain time. I'm sure I speak on behalf of these guys too, but we'll overpack meals just in case there's delays or whatever else. But guess what? As soon as we hit Germany or whatever country it is, we have to get rid of all our food. So that's another thing you have to encounter. As a professional, you're always, up against obstacles, especially when you're traveling overseas. And then you have to, if it's a language barrier, you have to go to a grocery store. Most stores close early, so if you land over a certain time, there's no food, you have to rely on restaurants, etc., etc. But that's another story. What you've got going right now is, not to coin on what Rob said earlier, is one of the easier stages, because you have got some sort of comfortability. You can get the meals in as long as they're packed, and that you're going from A to B. You get off the train at any point in time.
No, just when I'm done for the day.
Yeah, there we go. So as long as you can get your meals in every 2 to 3 hours, then you're good to go. But that is a good question, because a lot of people, they've got a lot of regularity to their job, and when you turn pro and you get in demand, and you've got to go here and go there, and a lot of people think, well, you're getting paid for it. No, not necessarily. A lot of the things that I do are contractual. I was on the road for 14 days last week. I didn't get paid any extra. It's all for my sponsors. I love doing what I do, and I get to see my fans all around the world and get to do things like this. But I would love to be home too, around my dogs, around my girl, but it's part of the sport, and trying to grow on the road is very difficult. So again, when I am home, I take advantage of every opportunity, and there's all my creature comforts are around me, and that's when, it's game time. So.
What are all 3 of your favorite cheat meals? All 3 of you. Favorite cheat meal?
How do you want me to narrow that?
Or cheat day, your perfect day.
I've
You
never
just
had
have
a-
whatever you want, so I don't know if that's harder or easier.
Yeah, well, when I'm dieting for the shows, believe it or not, the first thing I want to do when I'm cheating is normally eat more of the same bloody stuff that I'm eating.
Yeah, it's just more.
It's stupid, I know, but I would rather eat sushi than a pizza. Or if I was force-fed something, which is true, normally my coach would get hold of my girlfriend and say, or my fiance, and say, I gotta watch because there's kids in the room, but he's Welsh, you can imagine he swears a lot like me. He makes sure you take him to the Cheesecake Factory and take a photo of what he's ordered and send it to me. It's got to that point, because I'm so zoned in that I feel like eating that is going to default me, but not necessarily, because we all put it in. So again, going off the point, just sushi, and I will tear up some cheesecake. I have been known for that.
I agree. It's more after I actually, because I'm done doing a show for now, so I could go and eat cookies and cupcakes. I actually am addicted to just not measuring stuff. When you get that, when you're doing a show, you eat a meal and you're hungrier after you're done eating than you were before you started. That's the crappy part. And that's when you know your metabolism is going through the roof and you're doing awesome. So it's usually just, I want more chicken and I want more rice and more hot sauce. But if I would like some sweets, I do really like cookies and ice cream and burrito. I love just a big burrito. Usually we go to Cheesecake Factory and I get the grande burrito, which is like the 3-pound burrito, and I just wolf it down. And then 2 pieces of cheesecake afterwards. And then, I thought maybe some pizza. I could go for some pizza.
This list is building.
So I don't eat healthy, obviously. But we are on these two are on this whole like Save Rob Bailey kick. Because I used to be attractive and I used to be healthy. And now I'm unattractive and unhealthy. And I'm like 285 and I shouldn't be. And whatever, I'm a mess. So I'm trying to make responsible decisions. So I'm not going to call this a cheat meal. I'm going to consider this a meal that I love, that I'm trying to stay away from right now. And that's cream chip beef, because it's the best thing in the world.
Yeah, I'll add that to mine.
I'll add that and some pancakes. I'm done now.
Right in the middle. Yep.
All right, so I have a two-part question. The first part's for Flex. It's undeniable that the 212 has breathed a lot of life into bodybuilding, but the reality is that the 212, the prize money is not quite the same as the open. And aside from the prize money, would you want to go back to the 70s where the 212 winner and the open winner stand side by side and they crown a Mr. Olympia? That's the question for you. For Dana, the question is, right now I'm helping Tycee Coppet a little bit, trying to get her, some press. And I've gotten her a lot of stuff online, but I feel like I hit a wall with the magazines. Do you get a lot of coverage in the magazines, and what tips could you give to women's physique competitors to get in Flex, MD, and those? Thanks.
Okay. So to answer your question, I'm a big fan of bodybuilding full stop. So I think the new age guys that I speak to really don't even know some of the old Olympia champions, which to me, if you're a fan of football, you probably can name every quarterback if you're a fan of a certain team. But you ask the new age guys about, name the Mr. Olympias, and unfortunately some of these guys can't even name a handful. So talking about the old era, man, I would love to have been, a spectator just watching that, the golden era they call it, and it's not for a reason. Physiques were amazing back then. And again, they lived in the gym, literally. They overtrained, and they probably underate, but yes, to answer your question, I would love to stand up in an overall. Will it happen? I can't see that happening. For me to do that, I would have to step up into the open class, and I'm sure I'm going to answer somebody else's question here, since I've been asked time and time again. Will I be stepping up into the open class? As of now, no. My legacy is in the 212 class, and I feel that I got a few more years that I would love to compete and create this legacy. I love touring the world as a champion. I love breathing life into the middleweight, light heavyweight class to give these guys, a chance and give them aspirations, and I see these guys then next to me on stage a year, 2 years later, and them tell me, remember that talk that we had, and again, not to go off the point, but the Olympia 212 class is a very, very exciting class, because you can look at 3 weeks ago, the winner of the 212 was Jose Raymond. Last year, Jose Raymond placed third, and Eduardo Correa was second place. Jose beat Eduardo. In fact, he beat Eduardo. So you can see the mix that's coming into this year's Olympia, which is going to create a great show. And that's what we want in bodybuilding. The fan wants to see a show. So when we're all up there, it all, kicks my ass, because I know these guys are there. They all want my title. I'm the one with a target around the back. But what I feel I do as a champion, not on stage but off stage, is why I want to keep this title. Again, I love hearing the feedback from the guys, you guys, the fans, and to me, this is why I make the journeys to Australia, to Germany, to the UK, and all around the world, even here in Ohio, to give back. And I can't speak for any other 212 class guy, but a lot of these guys would rather be in the gym training than on the road training. And I think that the difference is that makes a champion with a belt and a champion is that difference. You know, these guys sitting next to me, although she doesn't have the title, I'm sure everybody in this room knows that she's a champion. You all agree? So again, I think I answered your question. I thought I gone off the planet.
Well, actually, mostly you did, but what I was saying in the 70s, you wouldn't actually have to go to the Open. You would win the 212,
Yes.
Phil would win the Open, or Phil would win the over 212, you would win the 212 and under, then the two of you would be side by side, and then they would crown Mr. Lynn. So I'm saying you would be compared next to Phil.
Well, I did, but probably my accent killed it. I said I'd probably have to go up into the open class. I don't think there would be ever a comparison. I'd love to see it happen if it did. I'd love to be the first ever 212 guy standing there against the open class guy. You know, short versus tall. I would love that. So again, you know, for anything like that to happen, you know, change has to happen. But again, definitely I would be you know, as a champion of the 212, I'd love to stand against the best, and yeah, I would take that.
And your second question, about magazine coverage. Honestly, the whole goal of what I do now and what I want, I guess, females to feel is to be confident that it's okay to like have muscle and it's okay to be strong and you can still be attractive and you can still be beautiful. And for the longest time, I don't think magazines really, I feel like they were still like old school. Like, I think just like one of the magazines that I've always read for the longest time is Muscular Development. And 1996 was the last time they had a girl with muscle, and that was Rachel McLeish. Actually, does anyone have the Power magazine? I am on the cover of Power magazine. So, Mark Bell, shout out to Mark Bell. Mark Bell went out on a whim, and he noticed, he approached us, he's like, why are you guys, why isn't she on the cover of a magazine? I was like, oh, like, I won the first ever Miss Olympia, and I didn't get a photo shoot the next day. I thought for sure, I was like, cool, like, I have an extra day, like, magazines are gonna call me, they're gonna want me to photo shoot, and it's gonna be awesome, because, like, I don't know, I've never, like, I always thought of myself as a fitness model, but, like, what am I modeling besides my husband's, like, clothing line? So, like, without, like, the magazines backing me, like, I don't know what I guess I'm not a fitness model. So after that, and then, I mean, this year, like, same thing, like, so I've been in this sport for a lot, like, several years now, and not really featured much in a magazine. I was in Muscular Development with Steve Kluko, which was like a 7-page spread, which was amazing, one of the highlights of my year, to be in one of the top bodybuilding magazines ever. But I think, honestly, for the longest time, like, I feel like magazines were just scared of girls with muscle. They don't know what to do with them. I think photographers don't really know what to do with them. And me, of all of the girls, like, I don't know, you unclothed me, I look like a 12-year-old boy with a cute haircut. Like, I don't know, it's sort of, I guess, I don't know, I'm jacked, got some good delts, but I think that it was more or less there was like a fear with the muscle, and they didn't really, so they always geared it more towards like the bikini and your figure. But Mark Bell put a magazine out, and he's honestly the first person to ever put me on the cover of a magazine. And he wrote if you have the magazine, he writes this big long description about like why, and which I want you guys to get it, so I'm not going to tell you about it. But after that, actually, I'm in Iron Man magazine right now, which I don't even have yet. I have to go buy it. Something happened, and it happened, I don't know if it's the circumstance of him putting that magazine out and people realizing like, oh, never thought of that. Like, she still looks like a girl, she has muscle. So we didn't do anything different. I can't say like, we were taking any steps to like really get out there. And actually call magazines to try to set up shoots, and they're like, nope, all booked. I'm like, okay, reigning champ. I was going in, like this was before, like, so I was still physique Olympian. I'm like, okay, no photo shoot, cool, got it. So I don't know, like, are you doing something on the backside that I don't know?
No one's gonna do anything for you. Ever. I mean, you'll get lucky every once in a while, I think there's bodybuilders out there that admit they got lucky. I'm not gonna name, but we did a seminar with somebody a little while ago, and he's like, yeah, and I was gonna go pro, and a coach picked me up, and I went pro, and then I signed with this company, and then I was on the cover of this magazine, and it was like, so what did you do? He's like, I don't even know how it happened. It was like, all right, cool. But I think from the start, like, we realized, even talking to supplement companies, that nobody wanted to actually give her real money. Nobody actually really wanted anything to do with her because they weren't really sure what she was. They were like, girl's supposed to be sexy. You're not, I mean, they didn't say that out loud, but they're like, you don't have the typical sexy look. Like, so we don't know what to, yeah, it's funny, but like, they don't know what to do with her. And the whole time, like, I knew exactly what to do with her. I knew where her place was. And I think the secret that a lot of people are looking for is just be real. And I think that's the biggest issue is people enter and you think, okay, who do I want to be? Like, how am I going to brand myself? Am I going to brand myself like, like the animal mentality, that I'm a badass and I'm always like hooded up and, shut the F up and train? Or am I going to be sexy? Or am I going to be happy? Or am I going to be, always full of energy? It's like, well, just try to be yourself for a minute and see how that works out. And that's what the risk that we took with her was being herself. But no one wants to market that. No supplement company's going to pick that up. Nobody really wants to pay attention to someone being an individual and being themselves if it's not what they're interested in. And that's where it went to social, man. And it went to the daily videos, and it went to just the social media. Now there's so many different options out there, and there's so many different platforms that you have to look at everything as a platform. I know you brought up like prize money for the 212, about him stepping up because of the prize money, and that's where a lot of people, I think, they look at everything wrong. They think if I win this show, I made it. Things are going to happen.
The open get 10 times what the 212 winner gets.
Okay.
So there's a little truth.
Well, yeah, she won whatever. Her check for Miss Olympia was enough to cover flights, but it doesn't actually matter, and that's what I think people look at. They look at, the prize money. It's like, Flex does so much work, and it 212 champion and Miss Olympia for her gives her such a platform. It's your job to do the work. And I think that's what a lot of people think. Like, a lot of the dudes that approach me for sponsorships, even though we don't sponsor anyone, they think they're like, oh, well, I won this show. It's like, bro, I don't care what show you won. Like, you placed top 5 men's physique when? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you have to do the work. And that's why, now there is people like a CT Fletcher. You know what I mean? Like, because the videos are being put out there. He's doing the hustle on the backside. And that's everyone's responsibility. And all the platforms are available for everyone. It's just how you utilize the platforms. And I think Dana is the prime example of utilizing platforms to get somewhere. I don't
even know what we're talking about either. But I think at least there's a couple magazines. Well, actually, Muscle Insider already put it out. I'm going to be on the cover of Muscle Insider, I think, May or June. And there's another one, but I can't say because it's secret. But I think I'm slowly opening at least the floodgates to, I don't know. I'm opening people's eyes to not be so single-minded, like you don't have to do like the typical sexy look, because I know everyone asks, but like I'm not sexy. I don't do any of that kind of stuff. Like I lift weights, I'm a jock, I'm weird, I say weird things. Okay, thank you. I dance. So the biggest thing is just be yourself and don't rely on like magazines, rely on something else that even more people are going to see, which is social media. I mean, the worldwide social media. I mean, that's how you get out there, and then that's when magazines might start noticing you a little bit, like, whoa, like this girl has a lot of followers. We might sell some magazines. But that's all. Like we use competing. I use everything. And we use that as a platform for me to get out there, and then we use everything else to get out there even more. So it's your job to use those avenues, and take complete advantage of it, because nothing happens. Nobody comes knocking on your door. No one's gonna give you handouts. Like, you gotta work for everything we've ever done. We've had to work for ourselves. No one gave us anything. Oh, orange shirt.
So my question's for Rob. I was wondering if you ever like hit creative blocks and where you pull a lot of like inspiration from.
Yeah, I'm too distracted, I think. I've started too many businesses, I'm doing too much stuff, we're traveling. But it all comes from just being angry. I think everybody can relate to that, but like I just get really, really angry a lot. You know, the reason that like in the beginning all the videos got out there, and the reason we traveled so much, and the reason that I stopped lifting and stopped eating and everything was just frustration, seeing Dana try so hard and no one cared. You know, like she was trying to do everything. She was trying to present females with muscle and all these different things, and just no one was taking her serious. You know, we'd call up supplements and they'd be like, oh yeah, we'll sponsor you, we'll give you product. And I'm like, no, she needs, you know, money. Like, we're not doing a sponsorship for product. And it would make me angry, and which I just retaliated instead of just, you know, doing something stupid. I just did more work on the backside. And I think that's, I mean, even now with Austin, our best meetings come when we're exhausted, and we just wear ourselves down, and then we're furious about something. And it all spawns from that, like, just being frustrated. And eventually something's gonna come due. I mean, that's how it's always worked. That's how it's always worked for both of us. You know, the fact that, the reason we got a lot of ground from the 7 days out from the Olympia series, because, you know, you're not supposed to show yourself prepping for a show the last couple of days because you're supposed to be hidden and, you know, all of those rules that exist, that have always existed. And you're not supposed to show yourself a weakness. Like, I shouldn't show Dana crying, questioning herself. You know, like, that's not something you want to show people. You want to show confidence and show that she's ready to compete and she's looking great, when realistically, mentally, she's not okay. And the only reason we did that was in retaliation because I made all the phone calls to the magazines and said, hey, you know, reigning Miss Olympia, when do you want to prep her for after, like, what time? Just so I can mark on the calendar, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of photo shoots. And, you know, I got told, sorry, we're all booked up by all the magazines. It's cool, you're all booked up, all right. So then I go back in my mind, and I say, F everybody, what can I do? What can I do to do something that hasn't been done before? What can I do to put her in a position where they're going to come back, and they're going to, we messed up by not shooting her. And it was that 10-day out video. And like, the 10 days out, like, I don't think people understand, well, I guess they do understand, like, how much actually goes into it, and like, how sort of spread thin we are. So for me to edit those videos, like, there was just no sleep at all, and then still having to protect her from, you know, crowds, from weird situations, from just getting her from place to place. But it had to be done. It was all done just because I was angry and she didn't get photo shoots. I don't know, that's generally how I operate in everything. It's just I get really angry and then I fix it. It's not really a secret.
Get angry.
Oh, next question.
Yeah, right. I just want to say your song Beast gets me through a lot of contest prep.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You guys, your brand has taken off. What do you see yourself doing in 3-4 years? What is you have your goals? What do you have in mind?
Me personally?
I know you're gonna keep.
As a
yeah.
whole.
As a
I mean,
whole.
our plan is to actually, our goal is to kind of actually stay the same for the most part. I mean, most businesses, you think, like, they always have, like, monthly goals that they want to reach, and every month they want to go up and up and up and up. So we reached our monthly goal, and we actually capped it. Like, we don't want it to get any bigger, because we like I mean, we could put everything on, like when we started, like if we wanted to make a lot of money and just put a lot of shirts out there so they wouldn't sell out and we could just keep rolling in, like put everything on an automatic press, but then you take away from our brand. So you start like deviating a little bit from what we started this company as, and I feel like we would almost lose ourselves. So we like that it's limited. We like, not that I know some people get really mad when things sell out, but I mean, that's the point. So when you get something, it makes it a little bit more special. And
when I talk about your brand, I talk about your name is the brand, the clothing, the gym, the cars, the whole thing.
Oh my God, we have so
That's
many
the whole
plans,
brand.
like I can't even narrow it down right now. Like, I mean, we have the car shop, we're building cars, so we want to get like a lot more car action going on. We're doing a lot more drift events and car shows this summer. I might do a powerlifting meet, so that might change, because I mean, we noticed that, like, I love lifting, I like being really strong, so, and all of our friends are like, I mean, Richard Hawthorne is like the strongest deadlifter in mankind, like, worldwide, so, like, he's gonna help me with my deadlift. Like, we're friends with Sam Bird, who can help me with my squat, so start, like, trying different avenues of different sports, like, I don't know.
Line of supplements.
Okay, so we have Onward, which we just came out with. And I think that's it with the supplements. I mean, the market's already there. If you need the best pre-workout, we can tell you what we take. If you need the best protein, it's all exists. There was one supplement that we didn't see existed, that's why we created it. But I think it's just life. Like, what's the goal in 3 years is life. Like, just do everything we've ever wanted to. I mean, that's realistically it. And excel in everything that we do. So, okay, we own a car shop, we drift and we roll race, like, I don't know, let's beat the UGR Lambos. Like, there's a goal. It's a crazy goal, but, and I don't want to do it in a Lambo, you know, we want to do it in a Supra, whatever the platform may be, you know, and then on the other side, like, you said about the gyms, it's like, I think the gym culture is broken right now. I think that it's really, really shitty. I'm sorry if the kid's here. But like, you know, I think the gym culture with bodybuilding has evolved. I think Planet Fitness has taken over. I think Gold's is, you know, changing things to a little more coffee shop colors. They're fighting their prices down to go with Planet Fitness. And then, you know, the 24-hour sort of cookie cutter gyms are sort of taking over and all the little hardcore gyms are dying. And that sucks. But the reason that's happening is because you have all these different groups. You have the skinnylittleBodybuilding.com kids who come in, who, you know, they know all their information from the internet, but they don't even really look like they lift. Then you have like the monsters that are all like, you know, cover up, like, don't talk to me, I'm here, blah, 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 blah. And then you have like my mom, who's just scared of the whole thing and doesn't even want to walk back there. And there's all these different cliques that nobody gets along, you know what I mean? And I think we have a really weird platform right now, where we have a respect across a large, you know, group of people. We have this social outreach that we seem to be able to make videos that people understand. And, you know, there's other, how do I say it? There's other, is it a sport? CrossFit? Is CrossFit a sport? But like, look at the CrossFit model, right? Everyone gets along. Everyone's like friends. They all cheer for each other. They all pay like 10 times a month what you pay to go to Gold's. It's like $150, and they all get along. And there's not even any damn equipment in the gym. And it's like, why can't the bodybuilding atmosphere figure that out? Like, why do we need to be 7 different cliques that all go in there and stare at each other from across the gym, and nobody really wants to help each other? And you know, if you're trying to lift too heavy, you'll end up in awkward gym moments and everyone makes fun of you. But like, there's an avenue to fix that. So if we're involved in the gym, why not try to fix whatever we can in the gym culture? You know, why not? Dana's obviously full on board about helping esteem issues and getting people to be confident in who exactly they are, whatever you are. I don't know, it's to do everything we want to do in life and excel at it. But there is no like specific plan. Just go as hard as we can.
Everything. We want to do everything. That's what we're going to do in 3 years.
What were kind of the biggest differences you had between being like a pro and an amateur in terms of training, nutrition, lifestyle, even like relationships? Like, in what ways are you more efficient now? Kind of a broad question.
You haven't answered one in a while.
Biggest differences, I think, as a an amateur, I was very driven. Not that I'm not now, but I'm saying for any relationship that I was in, I think I was so focused on achieving that I think I missed a lot of the things that were going on. I was so focused on the bigger prize that I missed out on the current win. I was looking at the next. And I think as a professional, I've learned to slow down and enjoy the moment. And I think, again, that's come from maybe maturity as well. And not to sound cocky, that's not me at all, but I did win everything as an amateur. But I was focused on winning that show on to the next, winning that show on to the next. So then, when it came to the crunch and I'd done my first pro show, and I stepped up against the best of the best, I didn't think that I was going to, lose the show or win the show, but then I went in, I gave my best, I turned up like I needed to, and I lost my first ever show. I sat back, I was like, wow, this is the first second place I've ever had, And then actually enjoyed not winning that show. As weird as that sounds, it was like a bag was taken off my back. So it was like a lot of pressure for me, maybe because I put that on me, show after show after show after show, and I didn't realize that when I came second, I was like, oh my gosh. So then the next show, which was the Europa Pro show, I won. I enjoyed every moment of it. My first ever pro win, and then etc., etc. So in terms of meals and eating, I think I said earlier, I was eating a tremendous amount more food when I was going up through the ranks. At this point in time, I actually undereat because, again, traveling as much as I do and time changes and stuff like that, it does affect my appetite. But I am at the top end of the weight to have a productive off-season, which I used to have. I used to be sitting close to 250, and 5 foot in the fat. It's not a good weight to be coming down to, especially when I was 202 pounds. So I didn't have 48 pounds to lose, I had a big face, but I had abs. So now I try and stay, around, the high 220s, 230s probably, and then I come down from that. So my off season, when it starts. I limit my travel 8 weeks out from the show. In fact, I don't do hardly anything at all. And then, it's gun ho. Was there anything else that I...
Like lifestyle too, like going out.
Lifestyle? I've got more balance, I feel, in the last couple of years than I ever have done also. And again, mentioning that I'm enjoying the moment. Definitely, I don't party, I'm not a party guy. I used to play rugby a lot, so luckily for me, I got all the craziness out of my system, I feel, in the younger years. Drinking age over in the UK is 18, so everybody pushes the board 16, 17. So I done a lot of crazy, rugby day drinking after the games and stuff like that. And then when I got into bodybuilding later on in life, my sole focus was that. Now, if I want to go out to a restaurant and have, a glass of wine with my fiance, or, go and do something, I'm enjoying life. There's a compromise to doing what I do and being with me, and I understand that. So when I'm with my girl, my family, my friends, I give back as much as I can. Because when it comes down to the crunch, I do focus and I do become tunnel visioned, and I do understand that. But when I'm home, again, I do all normality things. Normality for me is going to the gym every day, eating 6 to 7 meals a day when I am home. And again, that is who I am, and everybody who is around me, who supports me, who wants to be around me, understands that. But yet, I do understand who I am as a person, and giving back, again, as much as I can. It's balance. And I believe, to be happy in life, that is the key word, balance. And you can enjoy a lot more things. You look at some of these athletes who've achieved a lot of great things in and out the sport of bodybuilding, some great athletes that are, fighters, whatever else. They've got all these posse around them and cliques and everything else. And when it's all said and done, where are they? You know, why not enjoy the whole experience with the true people around you that want to see you succeed, that want to see you be a better person? And that's what I've got. You know, I've got businesses in and out of the sport of bodybuilding. You know, sport businesses that you wouldn't even think I own, but I do. But, you know, I'm a businessman, and I understand that, you know, there's the word of boss, everyone wants to throw that word around. Oh, I'm a boss. No, Rob, you ain't no boss. A boss, there's a boss and there's a boss. Like Rob said, there's that person that somebody looks up to. Now, you know, I do what I do, you know, when I'm home with my businesses, and I hope to be an aspiring boss. You know, and there's always room to change, just like as an athlete, as a champion. But again, there's, you know, we're now in the situation, in the limelight, sitting up here giving advice to you guys. And I hope that anybody that's looking at this seminar, and I wish them all the best in whatever they do, whether they're you know, their achievements or their aspirations, shall I say, to be up here doing seminars like this. Just like sit around and see where you're going in life. Because I'll tell you this, open and honestly, there was a point in my life that I thought I was going in the right direction. I was absolutely going the wrong direction. And I even moved states just to reassess myself. And now looking back, I was in a bad part of my life. Yeah, I was winning shows, I was going to the gym and this and that, but it wasn't a productive, successful Flex Lewis that you know I wanted to be, to aspire for others, and again sit here and open and honestly give advice, you know, to the up and coming people. If you have these people around you, get rid of them. Get rid of them. I'll be honest, guys, get rid of them. You're going to hurt some feelings, but that's temporary. If they're taking you in the wrong direction, get rid of them. Because you, again, want the people to make you the best person you can be. And if your goal, again, is to be this icon, or is to be a better family man, is to be a better husband, brother, sister, whatever it is, bodybuilder, then you need the best people around you to take you to that next level. So, there we go.
Thanks.
I have a question about your prep book. In there where you say like stairs and then you have a number like 120 to 130 or 130 to 140. Is that steps per minute that you did for that long?
Yep.
That is insanity.
That's well, actually now I'm like, it usually stays around 135 to 145 typically.
That is crazy.
Because mine doesn't have like the levels. I know some have like the levels. Yeah, that's steps per minute.
Because I do the levels where I do like 120 and then it drops me back down.
I don't do the whole, I don't know about this guy, but I don't do the whole like bodybuilder, like slow walk thing.
No.
See, I road run. That's the difference. Everything's fast. Everything's as hard as possible. So my whole thing with like cardio is like, I want to be dripping sweat. I want to feel accomplished. I want to feel like I did something. I want to burn some freaking calories. So I like steady state. Like I know, I like HIIT training, but I watch movies and I don't want to go fast and slow. It messes my movie up. So I just like to go as fast as I possibly can for whatever the time is, 30 to 40 minutes. So I'm booking on that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever you're prepping for a show, you have like downfall at one point. How do you bring yourself back up?
This guy usually. Support system. Give him a call. He'll bring you back up. I mean, you go through it. Like every day is like I can feel really great one day, really confident. The next day I'm just like, I suck. Like, I look horrible. Like I get nervous and scared. Every day is like a new day. There's not really much that I do about it besides like he usually calms me down and just that. It's just him. So as long as you have like a good support system, definitely helps. 2 more questions, so we better be good.
I got a question for both of you. Other than winning a competition, what's your most memorable moment and what's your most embarrassing moment
In the sport. Most memorable, I mean.
other than winning?
Other than winning the Miss Olympia, that's really hard not to beat that. How do you not beat that? Or the first pro card winner. That's second place. Most memorable. Honestly, most memorable was like Porsche Tour. This year, Porsche Tour, we showed up. I don't know if you guys know, like if you didn't know, after Olympia, we did a week tour after the Olympia. So from Vegas to North Carolina to his brother's wedding. So every single day, we had somewhere to be. We had a gym and people were there. We go to the first place. Actually, the first place we didn't even announce. We went to Dennis James' gym with Big Ramy and did a workout. And we didn't even announce this gym until the night before. So all the other gyms we announced like a month ahead of time so people could plan. The night before, we show up this gym and there's 500, 600 people there. We didn't even announce it. That's memorable. And then every stop along the way, we were there till 3, 4 a.m. and would have to drive like 9 hours to like the next location. Like definitely was, if we could do Porsche Tour, we need a buffer day in between. But the turnout, we'd have at least 800 people at every single gym that we went to. That's definitely the most memorable. Embarrassing. I gotta think about that one. This is embarrassing right now. I don't know. Yeah. Embarrassing.
Pre-workout kicking in too soon or something?
I don't get embarrassed by much. I do a lot of weird stuff. Do a memorable one first.
I think when you're on the road, you encounter so many crazy fans. No offense to any crazy fans in here. That you develop the ability to sort of blow it off, or So I wouldn't say I've got a specific memory, but I've encountered a few crazy people in my time. I think the one guy that stands out to me, oh my gosh, I just remembered this, was the guy that dressed as Zorro that came to see me in New Zealand. And when he got, there was the guy, yeah, but it was, he stood in line for about an hour, and when he got to the line, everybody was obviously laughing, like, who's this guy behind me, who's this guy, And the time he got to the front, he asked me who I was. And I was like, I'm this guy here. He's like, that's you? Your face is fat. I go, okay, thanks, Oro. I go, seriously. I say, you want a picture? He goes, yeah, you got a camera? That is true, I'm not making that up. So, there's a few more, but I'll keep it PG. I would say most memorable would be my first Olympia win.
We can't.
Because I came off the second place the year before. I put everything into that show the year before, and I felt I came so close. And then obviously I had a year of doing what I needed to do and reassessing, refocusing. The weight was up by 10 pounds, so it was then game on for that year. And then obviously my hand was lifted victorious, but also on the back of that, it was another memorable occasion for me, because my family nearly lost my mother that year, and she was there for the second place, and cancer struck again, and she said she was going to be there for her son to win his first ever Olympia title, and she won cancer free, and she was there. So that was another memorable occasion. So, it was a double one, so embarrassing moment.
Can you think of one for me?
You got some crazy.
Oh, I have crazy fans, but that's not embarrassing for them, not for me. I don't know. Wow. You put me on the spot. This is my most embarrassing moment right now. I really have no idea. Because everything is so crazy as it is. I am embarrassed of Rob Bailey's hair. Just kidding, because I do it, so that's embarrassing.
You never had a crazy reaction to like a supplement or something, a workout, or before going on stage?
I don't take anything that I'm not know about.
I've seen like Dana in a big group of people when we train really heavy, like pee when she deadlifts, and she's still not embarrassed. So, I mean, what else is there? I honestly, I've never even seen her embarrassed about anything. That's actually, I've never realized that until just now.
I am not scared to tell you I pee myself sometimes. Actually, many times. A lot of times. Deadlifting, squatting. I think it's the belt puts stress on my bladder. That bent over rows sometimes. If I go really heavy, I might pee a little bit. One more. Oh,
All right. So,
I just saw him first.
So when you're deadlifting or squatting, you pee yourself. Are you done, or do you keep going?
It depends how much. I mean, if it's only a little bit, I'll keep going. But if I think I'm just gonna go more, we're gonna have to stop. We'll go first. Last one.
How did you, sorry to like put a damper on this, but how did you deal with like body issues in your early career? Like when you were kind of like getting comfortable with
I wish I had an explanation. That's honestly like the biggest thing of why I'm here and what I do and why I try to get out there and why I do videos and is to hopefully make people feel a little bit more comfortable with themselves, with exactly who you are. And I know we both like have been kind of stressing that, be exactly who you are. Don't try to be anybody else. And that's why I've always done. I think why I've done pretty well is I'm not putting on an act. I'm not trying to be anybody else. But we've all been there. I mean, if you can raise your hand and said you have never been made fun of in your life, like holy crap, like that doesn't happen. Like we grow up with it. Like middle school, you're probably teased about something. You're teased about your chest size. You're teased about your clothes, your hair, your shoes, your grades, whatever. Even as a guy, you're not big enough, or like if you're not athletic, you look like a girl. Like you play like a girl, or you're too short. So like you've been teased about something. Like we've been there. Like I was vice president of the Itty Bitty Titty Committee. My best friend was president. The next year we were supposed to switch. She did not switch. And then my other best friend, she was secretary. But like we've been there. Like high school, like it got a little better, and then you go up and down. Like you go through life where you're like, okay, like you're comfortable with yourself, and like maybe the next year you're just like, because your body's changing, especially like middle school, and the crazy part is like I come from like a teacher background, so I see it. Like kids have it so hard these days. Like you thought you had it bad in high school or in middle school. Like these guys deal with it in school, and then they go home and they're on the computer. And not only are they getting made fun of maybe at school, now they're getting made fun of by people around the world that don't even know who they are. So like social media, as much of it is as a blessing, it is detrimental to some people. And that's what I had to deal with getting into the fitness industry. So like I have my ups and downs. In college, like I was athletic, like never been out of shape. So like I was always just skinny, and like I was comfortable with myself. And then I started getting into the gym, started lifting weights, started putting muscle on, and it changed my body. I couldn't dress myself. Like, I didn't know how to dress myself, because like we'd go to a wedding and I put a dress on and I don't look like a typical girl wearing a dress. Like, I don't have a chest, so it's like shirts don't fit me right, or they don't fit like what I guess I thought they were supposed to fit like, or I have to get a bigger size of a long sleeve shirt because my arms are big and it doesn't fit across my back. So dressing myself was really hard. And then getting into the fitness industry and social media, getting into the fitness industry, going to shows, and you walk around and all the girls are wearing like no clothes and they're built like freaking Barbie, like perfect, like go like with the whole TNA, like everyone, and here I am, the 12-year-old boy with the cute haircut, trying to dress myself again and look cute or look sexy for the fitness industry, which I thought that's what you're supposed to do. It was all like, everything has to do with perception. A lot of the problem is, I mean, society as a whole. Like, think about like if Playboy put all girls in there with small chests, wouldn't everyone want to strive and they would all be chopping their boobs off? And, like, instead we're I'm very vulgar, so today. But it's all, we're brainwashed to think like this is what sexy is. This is the body type like you have to possess. And like I was there at one point. Like I didn't feel like I fit in. I didn't feel sexy. Like it was hard. And then we start getting a little following on through our YouTube videos, and like you post like pictures, and you never post something to Facebook that you're not proud of. Like you're not gonna take a picture and be like, oh, I look horrible. Post that to Facebook. No, you don't do that. You post things that you're proud of. So when you post something and you come and you start reading the comments, and like all of a sudden like people are like, ew, you look like a dude, like where's your penis? Like gross, you make me want to vomit. Like you are ugly. And you just start seeing all these negative feedbacks. Like it's a little hard to take in at first. So like I dealt with that a lot, and like mentally just trying to figure out myself, like what I was comfortable with myself. But the biggest thing, honestly, was him and having that support. So if you have someone that's there, like, I mean, like going back and like even back in my figure years, like I thought I like had to get breast augmentation to do well. Like I thought for me to look feminine, have that curvy look, like that's what I had to do. But I mean, did I want them? No. And I also had a support system that said, like, look, like, I like you just the way you are. You don't need to do that. Like, you're perfect as is. So having that positive reinforcement by someone that should have the most value on your opinion, that helps too. So having the support. And then, I don't know, something happened within myself, and about 2 years ago, two and a half years ago, I think it's as easy as I just stopped caring. I don't know, I wish I could explain it, and I wish I could bottle everything that I feel now for everyone, for girls, for guys, and like the value of how like confidence and how that can help you mentally and emotionally as a person. I think I always say the sexiest thing that you can ever possess is confidence. Whatever your body type is, whether maybe you're a little overweight, or maybe you have muscles, or you're really skinny, or you're short, or you're really tall. The thing you need to focus on is like if you see something in yourself that you'd like to change, you can do that. You can do that. Like if you want to lose weight, you can do that. You can diet, you can train, you can do cardio, and you can change your body type. But the things of you that you can't change, I mean, unless like, there's some sort of surgery or something, those are the things you need to accept. You just need to learn to accept the things the parts of you that you can't change, accept them for who you are, and that's what makes you you. That's what makes you unique. So whether you have, I always give the example of having like a mole on your face. Instead of getting removed, that's not a mole, it's a beauty mark. And that's what makes you who you are, and that's what makes you different. So focus, change the things, the parts of you that you can change, but focus on the things that you can't change, and just learn to accept them. And I learned to accept myself, and once I became to that acceptance, I gained confidence, and it's the most amazing feeling in the world. And if I could gift that to every single person and learn how to like somehow bottle that and just gift that to every single person, the world would be a much happier place. That was a good question. Just want to thank you guys for everyone coming out. Thank you for Todd and Dave for putting on such an amazing show. This is actually like my 3rd year here because we have such an amazing time. They take care of us, and it's such a great show. Great expo. Make sure you take advantage of that. But just want to thank you guys as supporters for everyone that's here today. Maybe you have a friend or family member that's up here today. That's awesome for you to be here. Awesome for you guys to show up and show your support for us and for everything that we do. Hope you, any last words from Mr. Flex?
I just want to add to that, guys. Thank you so much for coming out here. It's my first time in Cleveland, Ohio, and needless to say, I didn't pack for it. I left for Florida. And as I was landing, I thought to myself, holy crap, yes, that's snow on the ground. I came from Florida, 96 degrees. So, yes. So, needless to say, my suitcase is full of shorts, but then I don't wear nothing else anyway. So, but yeah, again, tail off the seminar, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know, I can speak probably for 3 of us. We do this because we have the fan base and the cheers from you guys. There's champions, and like I said, there's champions, and I'm proud to know these 2 people, and they give their heart back to all their fans. We're always the last people to leave at the Olympia, and again, that's because of the fan base that comes to see us. So from me to you guys, thank you so much. Thank you for all the support. And again, I'm looking forward to coming back tonight and giving you a show. So again, thank you.
All right, that concludes our seminar. Thank you very much. Please exit the auditorium to your right.